Good morning, friends. It is Wednesday today. Got a little bagel crumb in my throat. All right, it is Wednesday. Today we're gonna spend the day together. I am sitting down for breakfast. I'm having the same breakfast, but I changed up my breakfast. Let me explain. So I am eating the same, I showed you this in my last video, a blueberry bagel bowl, as I'm calling it. Hi, Dio. Do you wanna say hi to everyone, honey? Come here. Big old, no, that's not for you. That's not for you. Big old 10-year-old boy. You're a 10-year-old boy. I love you so much. I'll put you down now, okay? He's such a good boy. Like, just lets mama do anything. Okay, I'm gonna set you down. Okay, blueberry bagel bowl. Usually if you've been around here, you know that I'm not like meal hungry by the time I get home from a workout. It's Wednesday. I went to Body Pump this morning, my favorite class of the week. And I usually am not super hungry when I get home, but I know my body could use some protein, some refueling. So I usually have like more of like a snack than breakfast later, but your girl's been hungry pretty like right when I get home. So we kind of swapped that and we, listen to your body. If your body's saying, hey, I need more, instead of trying to be like, no, this snack is gonna fill me, and then having to go back, which is annoying, right? Just automatically eat more. Be like, cool, I'll give you more from the start, rather than always having to go back and trying to like then follow up with more. Listen to your body. I think someone has to go potty. Hang on. No? You guys. Theo, what are you doing? You never lay on this bed, honey. You never lay on this bed. I got him this bed, so I was like, oh, it'll be so cute. I'll paint my numbers, and then he'll lay here. He literally never lays here, but good boy, honey. Looks like a lot of us are changing up our morning routines, but like I said, I thought we'd just spend some time together in this video, and we'll do a little bit of a vlog. I'll show you what we've got going on for the day, give you some updates, but then also I thought we would do where on earth is my cellular telephonic device. Let's take another bite. Oh, that's a good one. It's right here. Okay. So I put up a story sticker on Instagram. Story sticker, story slide with a box, whatever, you know what I mean? I asked you for questions on Instagram. I haven't looked at them. We're just gonna kind of answer some throughout the day. So this is gonna be a little bit of a day in the life, a little bit of a Q&A, mash up. We're just gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna finish eating my brekkie bowl. This is so good, you guys, I swear. Like the chopped up bagel versus cereal, it just adds like a different texture. It's just, so satisfying. All right, I'm gonna eat this. Let's go. Okay, friends, we are gonna have ourselves a little bit of a work from the couch today. I think I haven't done this in a long time. What we have on the docket for today is, this guy. I love you so much. And that is why I don't have many work from the couch days anymore, because the girlie needs to focus, but I have confidence that I will be able to focus. Today have a lot of, you'd think that like coming up with ideas is the hard part. It's not. It is the taking that idea and breaking it down into all the steps that need to happen, thinking about what if something goes wrong, what if someone doesn't understand all this stuff. We have a big release with lots of updates to the app coming up, so that's what I'm doing today, is just like making the concrete plans of how everything's going to be implemented, how we're going to roll everything out, all the ins and outs, all the what ifs. That's the hardest part. So before we get into that, let's answer a few of your questions here. Let's take a peek at what you guys said. I haven't really looked at these yet. I posted this when I was coming out of the dentist, and a few of you guys had some dentist. I love the dentist. You guys know this, but a few of you guys had some dental related questions. minutes. So let's go ahead and answer some of those. This is gonna be fun, you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna set you down. Don't love this lighting, I apologize. So I said that I got a mouth guard. Let's start with that. I'm obsessed with my mouth guard, but then a lot of you guys said the same thing. I started grinding my teeth in the pandemic, and my dentist actually noticed some signs of wear. I felt it too, but once they were like, your teeth are starting to wear, I was like, okay, it's time for, let's get the bite guard. Someone said, how do you keep it in your mouth at night? I couldn't. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but to be honest, like, I don't know that it's there. I also had braces twice, so I'm used to like having a retainer. It's super easy to get used to. I think way easier than, I think I've said this before, like mouth tape. I can't do that. That just like rips off my face. Like, I can't keep that on my face at night. Maybe I'll try it again, but it's a lot easier than you'd think to keep it in your mouth. That sounded weird. Okay, someone said, what do you use to whiten your teeth? So I have incredibly sensitive teeth, which we'll address in a second partially why. I use it's called Oraglow. It's like a light that you use, UV, LED, I don't know, some kind of light. I'll link it for you guys. I bought one for my husband. It is the only thing that does not make me feel like my teeth are about to crack in half. I have also tried Luminu, I think it's called, strips. I do prefer, I think I like just having a tray and popping into my mouth. So that's what I use. Highly recommend. I think it's totally worth it. If you have sensitive teeth, like I said, I could not recommend that one more. Okay, this is one that I want to answer, and I don't know that I honestly have ever answered this before, but the question is, trigger warning, I'm going to talk about eating disorders and bulimia. It says, have your teeth been affected by your ED? So quick history here if you are new. First of all, hello, welcome. My name is Colleen. I am a non-diet dietitian here to help show you what it's like to live a life of no food rules, to find balance, to let go of the obsession, and to live your healthiest, happiest life. Now that's out of the way. I suffer from a history of food was normal for me. Then I developed anorexia as a form of control. Then I developed bulimia as I was trying to recover from anorexia. For me, my teeth are, my enamel is worn a little bit. Essentially what happens, it is disgusting, guys. I shouldn't say it's disgusting. It can feel graphic to talk about and uncomfortable, but it's my reality. So when you force yourself to throw up, it can be very acidic, then it can wear on your teeth. So that's why this question was asked. My teeth have always been sensitive, but I do think that it has increased. My dentist has never said anything like, oh, your teeth are completely more worn than someone who hasn't experienced that, but I do feel like it has contributed to reduced enamel, which again can be normal through aging. There's also genetic components to teeth actually, so there's part of that going on. I have a history on my family side of just enamel stuff, and it can be genetic insensitivity. So there's that, but not to a large degree. I think it was Jeanette McCurdy's book. Have you guys ever read that? I'm Glad My Mom Died, I think. She talks about how I think she lost one of her teeth from it. So I consider myself very lucky that I don't feel like I've had a ton of issues related to that. But I think that's a very, very good question because it is something that I think about. And it was honestly a big motivator for me to be like, okay, we gotta figure out food. But yeah, very related question. Another question, teeth spa related. Cute. I call it the teeth spa. Promise, I think we'll do this in one more question because you're probably guys I'm sick of teeth already. What do you use to clean your night guard? I will just brush it, but I do bring it there. They will typically clean it for free, throw it in the sterilizer. Okay, I think those are the biggest teeth related questions. I'm going to go ahead and get to work, and then we will go ahead and just catch up throughout the day. I think I'm going to run a little fun errand that's also / a little bit of health and wellness related, so we'll catch up when we do that. Okay guys, we are heading to the library. Got a ton of stuff done this morning, but my eyes are getting to the point where I'm like, they're starting to get like screen fatigue, so we need a break. And I wanted to go to the library. I use the library a lot, but it's mostly the online, or not the online, like the app, the Libby app, because I usually read on my Kindle. But I mean, I guess, okay, here's the thing. I want to get into reading magazines at night. Sometimes I don't want to read a book. I need some sort of like wind down activity. And I was like, my husband brought it up this morning. He's like, when was the last, like, did you read magazines growing up? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we did. I was like, that just sounds like such an enjoyable thing to just mindlessly do in the evening. This is really bright, sorry, but so I was like, maybe I'll get a magazine subscription. And I was like, whoa, Colleen, before you do that, let's go ahead and grab some magazines from the library just to see if you like it. So that's what we are doing. I do feel like I am lucky. I'm walking to the library. We live really close to just a little small one. So I'm going to see what they have and I'll report back. Myself back into work mode after lunchtime is really difficult. I've been loving these mini Alani cans. They are just like the perfect amount of like a little bit of afternoon boost of caffeine. Love those. Had one of those. I feel like I have carrot in my teeth. I had just a simple like turkey wrap for lunch. Put a little ranch on it, some pickles, nothing exciting. I did get some magazines though. So they didn't have a very big selection, which I kind of expected, but I just got some People ones just to see if we like magazines. I forgot to tell you why I was looking for magazines and things to do. I said this a couple videos ago where I was trying red light at night. So we got some red light bulbs for our little like sconces next to our bed. Red light is a type of light that won't suppress melatonin, so it's gonna help you sleep. Things like screens, that's why I can look at magazines, but they have to be on my phone, that can keep melatonin from being produced, or daylight, regular like light bulbs, those kinds of things. So trying out, but I'm not gonna lie, I've been having a really hard time giving myself an hour of red light before bed because my only options are like reading, and sometimes like I just get book fatigue. So that's why we're trying the magazines. But let's answer a couple more questions here. Let me straighten you out. Okay, let's see what we got. I have carrot in I have one of those like built-in retainers. I got carrot stuck in it. Instagram, where are you? Okay, this question is interesting. It says, do you have any mantras that you say to yourself when you eat emotionally or have anxiety? So I suffer a lot from anxiety. You guys know this. I have general anxiety disorder. I've had it since high school. I always say to myself, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it really just does kind of calm me down for my anxiety. I think that in terms of emotionally eating, I think that one of the biggest things, it's not necessarily like a mantra, but it's being present, right? Am I on autopilot mode, or am I actually like being present eating this? I've had a couple days recently where I've just been like so freaking hungry. It's so easy in those instances where you're just like, oh, I'm so hungry, like give me the food, to check out. But it's just continuing to, I think, just mindfulness. I know that sounds like so cliche, but asking yourself like, is this still satisfying? Am I still needing more? Because a lot of times when we get to the point where we are just kind of like emotionally eating whatever it is, it's not actually satisfying, right? We're like, oh, I'm so full, or I'm not even tasting it. So I think that presence is one of the biggest ones. But in terms of anxiety, I found myself saying, it's okay, like literally out loud. Like my husband probably hears me say that like when I'm having anxiety and we're just like in the car or something like that, or I'm in the kitchen. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Repeat that to myself all the time. Okay, this question, how has your journey with anxiety meds been? Oh my gosh, you guys. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I've been on them for, I don't know, a couple months now. It just feels amazing. I take Lexapro. I took something else when I was in like college age years, and I will have to do a video on like this, but If you are thinking like, I feel like I just need a little bit of like extra help. For me, my anxiety started to be coupled with more and more depression. So that was my time where I was like, I've got to do something about this. But I feel like I've got like spark back to me. I feel like I am not being chased by a mountain lion every 5 seconds, and it allows me to find joy in things. I can't tell you the last time I've felt, this is gonna sound so sad, I felt like genuinely happy, like smiling, laughing in the past, I don't know, 2-3 years, because my anxiety has been so bad. The thing is like I didn't even realize how bad it was until I realized what I could feel like without the anxiety. So it's been amazing. I scheduled an appointment with my doctor. She talked with me about all of my options. We tested one. I don't even want to say like I got lucky this time that like the one that we tried worked, because I've had other ones in my history. One of them actually did the opposite and trigger warning here, suicidal ideations for me. And that was again when I was in college. Another one I didn't feel like did anything. So I was a little hesitant to try it again. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's amazing. Do what you got to do. There's no shame in it. Let's answer one more. The mail's here. Theodore Honey Pie, you want to come here and help me? That shut him up. No, he doesn't. Okay, we'll end with a nutrition one for this little bout here. It says, does your body recognize the sugar from candy the same way as fruit? In short, the sugar, yes. Do you want to come up here, honey? Okay, in short, the sugar, yes, sugar is sugar, but there are differences because you're gonna get a lot more in like the fruit. A lot of times there's going to be fiber in there, which is going to slow down the digestion of the sugar. But in terms of like, if you're talking about like coconut sugar versus honey versus refined table sugar versus brown sugar, like sugar is sugar is sugar. But there can be other things. Like I said, there could be fiber in there or other nutrients. So it's not that like the foods are the same, but the sugar composition, essentially, yes. Almost made it through another day, my friends. I tried this Beam stuff for the first time end of last week, maybe. So I've had it a few times. It is delicious. It has melatonin in it. It's kind of like a sleepy time sort of bevy. There's multiple things in there. But it's so good. I actually prefer the other one, I think. Let's see. I don't know, that's really good. So I thought they were gonna taste like just like kind of earthy, like dirt, you know, because I was like, they're probably like super unsweetened. And then I saw that there was monk fruit and I was like, oh, it's probably gonna just like taste like artificial sweetener. No, it is a delicious little kind of like hot chocolatey thing. It has been such a cold in terms of summer, but rainy day here. I honestly just was at my computer from the last time I talked to you, made dinner, and then now we're here. So it's been kind of a boring day here. But let's answer a couple more questions as I drink this. Okie dokie, we'll just kind of rapid fire some of these. Why do you think people are overly concerned with other people's weight? I think because we've kind of been conditioned to, like it's always been something that has been talked about and judged. I mean, from the magazines that I got, we've gotten better at it, but like, I mean, in what, 2000, it would have just been like talking about people's weights in our society. I mean, just correlates these things to thin equals successful, thin equals, you know, respected. We just have these cultural narratives about weight too. And again, I think these things are changing, but in some, our society was obsessed with people's weight. So that in turn kind of made us obsessed with people's weight. How do you deal with getting hate online? You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. What's the phrase? Like if you can be the ripest peach, but there's still going to be people who don't like peaches. We're not going to like everyone that we love. Now, I don't understand the desire to like hurt other people, I guess, like that just doesn't get it. But like I said, developed a pretty thick skin. Doesn't mean it doesn't suck to hear, but people are going to not like you in life, and that's okay. I keep reading that losing weight is a crucial component to controlling diabetes. Is this true? Absolutely not. That's like me, let's say if you got like a stomach bug for a week, that's not gonna mean that you're healthier. Or if someone loses weight because they went through chemotherapy, right? That's not gonna necessarily make them healthier. So the weight is not what necessarily impacts our health. It's the behaviors that are tied to it potentially. If someone is overeating, eating more than what their body needs and what their body wants, that might contribute to potentially some blood sugar things, for example. So we're talking about diabetes or, you know, anything like that. Stress and all those things can kind of play a role in it. And it's those behaviors, fixing, you know, eating the amount that makes your body feel good and that makes you feel energized, and learning about basic nutrition. Those are the things that are going to impact it, not necessarily the weight itself. Now, might when we start doing those things, moving our body, you know, including fiber and complex carbohydrates and veggies and protein and all those things, might that potentially change our body? Yes. But the point is, it's not the weight itself, it's more of the behaviors that, yes, for some may impact their weight, if that makes sense. You have to eliminate one: coffee, chocolate, ice cream, bread, pizza. Drop your answer to this in the comments. I feel like people are probably not gonna agree with me. I would say, honestly, the first thing I would toss is chocolate. I don't love like chocolate bars. I'm fine with like chocolate flavored things, but I would say I'm much more of like a vanilla or caramel or peanut butter person. I like chocolate more like as accents for things, like chocolate chip cookie or something like that, versus like necessarily like a chocolate full cookie. Favorite horror movie? Don't watch them, so don't have one. And our last one says, I feel like mindful eating doesn't help me. Practical tips for not overeating. So there's so many things for this. I think the first thing is always going back to the biological needs of our body. Are you getting, you know, enough calories, eating enough overall? Are you incorporating carbs, fat, protein, fiber, doing some basic nutrition? That does play a role in our bodies and our ability to listen to them. And so it's not just, okay, let me, you know, eat this cookie and be super mindful. There's a lot of different things that can go into that. And I always address like the nutritional needs of the body first, because again, you can sit here and be like, I'm gonna eat this cookie so mindfully, but if something is kind of out of whack with your kind of basic meal planning and eating, that can play a role. I will link in the description of this. I have a resource for you on meal planning. So that will be super helpful. I'll link that in the description, and just kind of make sure that you go through those. But beyond that, if it's the mindfulness, it could be more emotional with that as well. If you're, you know, eating cookies and expecting them to be, you know, comforting you at the end of a long day, or we are, you know, anger eating where we have all this worked up emotion and we just don't want to address it. There's many reasons why it could be happening, but I always suggest starting with nutrition, because if we focus on all those other things and our needs aren't still being met biologically, it's always gonna overpower and always gonna win. Anywho, guys, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and submitting some of those questions. Hopefully it was just fun, entertaining. Y'all learned a little either about me or something that we chatted about. But thank you so much for watching another video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, little bell to be notified every time a new video is uploaded. And with that, I will see you guys back next week. I'm kind of thinking we do a full day of eating video, but let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, and I'll see you then.